Hello and welcome to Cube Draft here at Mind Sports Academy by me, DaveSea Murphy. And we're going to look at our first pack. For those who don't know, this is a fully powered vintage cube that they have every year around the holidays. And we're looking to do some very powerful things. This is a weak enough pack. There's a lot of game players. There's a lot of generic good cards like Lingering Soul, Shriek Maw, Vindicate, Geist. These are all powerful cards, but not always extremely powerful. I think Bribery might actually be the best card here. There's a lot of big fatties. A lot of decks play very good creatures by the nature of this cube. It's full of very good creatures. I think that's the best pick. Besides that, I could see something like Geist of Saint Traff take away a game very fast from people, or Staff of Dominance being good win condition and an artifact mana based kind of deck. But anything else I want if I'm already kind of in an archetype. Vindicate is, again, a good mid-range card, but I don't know if we want to be that mid-rangey. I either like doing something super powerful or being a control deck in this format. And straight away we're kind of presented with that choice, so we can either take a Snapcaster Mage, which is just a super powerful card in a kind of control shell, or we can take a Reanimate, I think are the choices. Wheel of Fortune works well in an archetype. Polluted Delta and Scalding Tarn though in one pack. And fetch lands are very important. They have a lot of really good interactions. They help you get really good mana in this as well. But I think I'm just going to go with the Snapcaster Mage. It's on color. Taking the Polluted Delta would be quite nice as well. Maybe we can, if we table or reanimate, it's a pretty good sign. Yeah, let's try that. I've gone mono green the last few times I've played, but not exactly on purpose. It just presents itself a lot. Monastery Mentor is one of my favourite cards in Magic at the moment, and it is one of the more powerful cards in this pack. Again, Verdant Catacombs as a fetch land is nice to take. Even off-color fetches might be worth taking early, knowing you could be in the colours. But if I end up in some kind of blue-white Monastery Mentor deck, that would be sweet. Obviously, I'd love Days in a different pack, because Days and Mentor are quite good together. That's what I'm taking. Other powerful cards here are the fetch land, as I noted. Hedron Archive has actually been very good for me. And Gideon Jura is one of the more powerful planeswalkers, believe it or not. Everything else is kind of role player. The Elvish Mystic is very important to the green deck. All the kind of 1-mana dorks are. And here we got a few cards to choose from. I actually do not know if Counterbalance is in the cube. I don't think it is. But Sensei's Divining Top can be powerful with shuffle effects anyway. Careful Study, if we had drafted the Reanimate, is something I would take. Reoccurring Nightmares is just extremely strong. Revelark already has 2 targets in our deck for a kind of control shell. Ugin is one of the best finishers, and I think that's what I'm taking. It's one of the best control-based cards because you just get to wipe out boards. You get to control the game, and then this mops up nearly anything you can think of. But as I said, the Revelark Brago is also blue-white, tends to have a lot of come into play effects that are strong. Hopefully the Revelark comes back around. We already have 2 cards, and there's a lot of blue-white cards that go with it. We have Elspeth, who we've already taken a finisher. I don't think I want the Elspeth. Repeal is very good. I think I'm just taking the Thunder, though. I think I'm just taking the good bit of fixing, because you can often end up Esper or Bant or Jeskai when you're in this kind of strategy. So if I take the Thunder, it means I could even have a better secondary color and just splash the Mentor if I wanted. So I think I'll just take the fixing. Fixing's always good to take. Here we have a good selection of cards. Jeez, Sphinx of Steel Wind would have been really good if we had gone into Reanimator, but as I said, Ugin is kind of the finisher we want more efficient spells. Phantasmal Image is really good, 2 mana combos with a couple things. Skull Clamp exceedingly good. We already have 2 creatures that go perfectly with it, and Oblivion Ring. Like, there's Oblivion Ring and there's Banishing Light, and they're both really effective, just catch-all answers when people are doing very powerful things. I think Skull Clamp, and we could go into like a blue-white tempo deck possibly, and then maybe we won't end up playing the Ugin if we're in that deck. But Skull Clamp seems too powerful to pass up there. And here I'm unsure. There's a lot of potential powerful cards for archetypes. If we were in mono green, Craterhoof was pretty late here. I don't think I want the Burst or the Vampire. They're kind of niche players in the deck. Mind's Desire very powerful for Storm. I think I'm just going to take the Metal Worker. We might end up with the Artifact team. But I think it's the most powerful card here, most upside. I think the Hallowed Spirit Keeper just isn't that strong, even if I do end up in like a blue-white tempo deck. This works really well with Skull Camp as well. Sort of Feast and Famine's pretty good blue-white colors, though. If we end up with a lot of small guys and, as I said, kind of tempo-ish spells, I think I'd rather have this sword. It's probably the best sword for like a blue-based deck. Though Sword of Body and Mind is just game over the majority of times. Okay, Lingering Souls, really good with Skull Camp, really good with Sword. I think it's exactly for us here. It's pretty perfect for what we're doing. Just start targeting enchantment. Might be a good sideboard card. Probably better than land tax. Yeah, it's probably... I don't know. I used to be a big fan of land tax. The last couple of times I played it, I've not been impressed. Doesn't actually impact what's happening on the board enough, I think. Ooh, Daze came back. Perfect. Really good with Mentor. Not bad with Snapcaster. Though the way it's worded, I have to pay its cost, not its actual alternative cost. There's nothing else in the pack for us, so it's nice to table. And Revelark came back. Okay. So we have Mentor and Snapcaster to get back with Revelark already. Though, saying that, Secure the Waste Skull Camp? Yeah, I'm on board. This Ugin's looking a bit worse. We have a Kittian as well. Sorry, the flip Planeswalkers do things. Animaria Skull Camp. We're drafting good creatures with Skull Camp. I think our deck might be attempting to be a bit too fair. As I said, I don't think fair decks work out. Oh, sorry about that. It's the flip cards. The flip cards wreak havoc there, and there's a good few of them in the cube. I don't know if we're playing Ugin in this deck anymore. We're pretty certainly still playing the Bribery. But there's a chance we don't even end up in blue here, I guess. We might be a white weenie deck at this stage. A Ajani Pride Caller can be a bit pretty fast clock. I'd rather end up in blue because I think this is just so much stronger with stuff like Daze in your deck, though. I think I want to take the Scrubland. Scrubland is very good if I have Lingering Souls already. I don't know. Mana Vault is just so powerful. It's a bit like passing a Sol Ring. I think Sol Ring is better. Well, it is. I don't think it is better. It just is better. Passing up on Mana Vault seems bad. I don't think I can. I don't think I'm a fan of Kittian. I don't want to play him unless we end up going full white weenie. I don't think we'll wield a Scrubland, but there's a lot of powerful cards. Frostbite and Emrakul. There's a Time Spiral on the list. There's a Dent Protector. There's a Memory Jar. Control. Oh, Mox Pearl. Okay. It's also good with this. Of notes. Like, a couple cards we could get back here. The Azuri's Signet isn't bad. The Hangerback isn't bad. Control Magic is excellent, but we can't not take a Mox Pearl. Any Moxen are just excellent in this. You know, how often do you get... I can't afford a vintage deck. How often do you get to play with the Power 9? Elsbeth. Chromox is very powerful. Dismember is quite good in, like, this color combination. Stoneforge would be nice if we could get it, and it goes around a bit late, because as I said, playing fair is not always what you want to do. But I really like Elspeth. She's very fast clock, +3/+3 and flying. Triggers my Mentor. Goes with the kind of token Skull Camp team we have going on here. I'd like a bit of permission or removal. If I could. Force Spike could go into that category. We could decide we could take Force Spike or we could take Relic. Leon and a Relic Warder. And go White Weenie. But White Weenie always seems to be open at my just table. So I think the Force Spike is what I want to be at. I think this Ugin is not for this strategy. And the Bribery might even end up on my sideboard, bringing against Reanimator and big mana decks. An interesting deck so far, though. Vidalcan Shackles, Moat, the Double Strike, Silver Paladin. See, the Snapcaster just doesn't have anything to flash back yet. Is the thing. It has 4 Spike to flash back and maybe Secure the Waste, but that, you know, Secure the Waste is all about having mana. So I think I just take Kitchen Finks. I think I'm looking at the white weenie deck here, and like Silver Blade Paladin is probably going to table. As I said, it's always open. Though I could just take Shackles and still be this blue-white deck I'd prefer to be. Because I think the white weenie deck is just so fair. It just doesn't beat anything doing its plan. It beats stuff that stumbles, and plenty of decks stumble. Yeah, I think I'll take the Vidalcan Shackles. Like the white weenie deck isn't even as fast as the red deck, so at least the red deck, you're being incredibly fast, and you're putting them into burn range, so even if they stabilize, they're always close to dying. Wow, powerful cards in this pack. So I have no artifacts, but Tolarian Academy. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artifacts. Tolarian Academy is extremely strong if you end up with enough signets and stuff. Very hard to beat, but I don't think for our deck. Though Armageddon could be for our deck. Strip Mine could also be for our deck, or Duplicant. That's close. I think I have Shackles. And I have stuff like Secure. I don't think I want to be Armageddoning. Porcelain Legionnaire also isn't bad. Get Skull Camped. Yeah, let's go with Legionnaire actually. Oh, Splinter Twin. I love the Splinter Twin deck. Fortunately, we're not going to be in it this time. We do have a Soulfire Grandmaster. Bounce back some spells if we end up getting good stuff. If you get Time Walk, it's an infinite combo. This deck would love a Time Walk. Honor of the Pure if we decide just to go white weenie though. And maybe it's time we make that decision. This is close. We passed for the Shackles. Do we stay the course with the Shackles? We don't actually have much good blue here. I'm going to risk it. There's a Banishing Light. Or Seeker, I think Banishing Light. Ajani came back. Yeah, it looks like we're going to end up in a white weenie-esque deck here. I don't think this is even good in white weenie. If we end up in white weenie, having some mana lands isn't bad. Warrior came back. Figure came back. Yeah, let's see how this looks without the blue cards. Without all these 3 drops as well. This is not the best pick either if we're not going to be a blue deck. It still might be fine. So we're like white token splashing black, so Sarin or something would be nice as well. Duplicant against certain decks. Acidic Slime going last in the pack is pretty ridiculous. The card's very good. Silver Blade Paladin didn't come back though. We could stand up in blue, like Snapcaster Days is not a bad start. Vidalcan Shackles as well. Not a lot of blue came. Sometimes that comes down to the packs though. The distribution of packs. Like the one bad thing about Cube is sometimes you just randomly see this pack with 5 or 6 cards in the color in it, and you're like, oh, they were all in one pack. Mother of Runes or Path to Exile. That's a close pick, man. I think we need the Path to Exile and hope that the Mother of Runes is a lot more likely to table. Consecrated Sphinx is really strong, so is Monolith. We also could have had Kiki Jiki, Splinter Twin and Kiki Jiki. Unfortunately, that archetype isn't open. Splinter Twin, I think, is my favorite archetype, though, in this. Another sword. This is actually a very good sword. Because if you hit them once, they're basically dead. You mill them 10. It's a lot to mill. Besides that, we could have a Moldrifter. Brainstorm to go with our kind of blue team. Though Brainstorm without fetching isn't great. Rashadan Port is actually really powerful. I think the Sword of Body and Mind is the best here. And hope to maybe table the Port. Port tables a lot. Let's have a lot of options. Jide, Talia, Journey to Nowhere. I think I take Jide and hope to table Talia. That's a good thing about being in a strategy like this. A lot of the stuff tables. We won't be playing Feast and Famine if we're playing Jide and Body of Mind are just better cards. Main Crusader's excellent and exactly what this deck wants. He doesn't get blocked very easily and he does a lot of damage. And here we have to decide between another 1-drop, which we don't have many of. We have 2 decent 1-drops at the moment. Or a Parallax Wave, which is just kill 5 creatures your opponent controls because you're putting them dead before they all come back. Or protect your own guys, I guess. We have 3 equipments actually. Stoneforge would be sweet. I think it's the 1-drop. Again, a lot of these cards could table, and this deck could look a lot different. As you see, 24 cards already. The Mox Pearl does count as just a land, though, in my opinion, for these kind of decks. You want to be land light anyway. Deck is looking okay. We have the Mox Pearl, which is the best Mox for us to have. We can do a bit of a black splash, though that Scrubland would have been a nice pickup. We've had a lot of interesting decisions between what deck we should be. And we got out of blue. We got some early blue cards we liked. We wielded Days, but blue I think is very obviously not open unless, again, there just wasn't any in the first pack. So just a bit of a delay between the picks here. We have nothing blue worth really splashing either. Gotta love getting on color Moxes. Bribery is also a sideboard worthy card, and with Tundra I could definitely sideboard into it. If you just come up against Reanimator or green, take it in, get an Emrakul, game. So a bit of a delay. Cloud Goat, Glacial Fortress to reinforce a blue splash if you take anything else. I think Cloud Goat's a lot better, and again on kind of team with our token strategy. Sin Collector actually very good, but we have a lot of trees. I wouldn't mind having a random 5 in the deck. And a pack of nothing. It's disappointing at this stage, but it happens. We'll pick up a Signet. One, it's taking Signets off other people. I don't think we will play it, but it's also on color. Sweet. 2-drop that stops our opponents from searching. It's relevant with certain things. Well, there is also fetch lands in the cube. We don't have anything to search our deck, so there's nothing but upside to playing him. Hopefully we can get Talia back. Though we do have a fair amount of cards affected by Talia. Maybe it's not the best to start in our deck. Water of Runes, of course, came back. Kiki Jiki came back, so just no one in the Splinter Twin deck. And Port came back. Sweet. And Talia came back. So all the cards we wanted came back. We have a lot of options. We didn't get all the 1-drops. There are more 1-drops in the cube as far as I know. Figure is probably the best one because you and our deck wants it. And we got to table it, so that's really awesome for us. The deck seems fine. Again, we're doing something very fair, and we're not even the red deck that's doing something fast. They can try and Chain Lightning off the red deck. The red deck is also very good against us because it gets to play a bunch of main deck removal. Honor of the Pure, I guess, is pretty unfair in our deck. It's a shame we don't have an actual just dual land. Splash Lingering Souls, and it might mean we don't play it. Parallax Wave also came back. Sweet. We're probably starting that card. It's multiple removal spells. It's better than the Fiend Hunter in my opinion anyway. Roka's Command might be worth splashing against certain decks. Oh, sorry. And that was the draft. We will be back in a couple of seconds with the build and an explanation for it. Okay, we're back with the final build of the deck. Couple cuts, as we said during building, Fiend Hunter and Lingering Souls. Both didn't make the cut. Pyrax Wave, which wheeled, ended up making the cut over Fiend Hunter. We kept Mentor and Talia in, which are both up for question. Talia actually, with 11 spells in her deck, isn't the greatest, you know, and Mentor, a lot of the spells, maybe not triggering him multiple times, not exactly where he's best, you know. We really wanted him in a deck with Daze and Force Spike and the Cataxian Probe, all of which we saw, but we didn't really see the blue to go with it. Those are blue cards that are in situational decks, and besides Shackles and the Snapcaster, which we picked very highly in the packs, we didn't see much blue. So we end up not going into it. This is the final build. Also Body and Mind didn't make the final cut. We already have a Skullclamp and a Umazawa's Jade. We also have a Johnny and Elspeth, which are like equipments, and that they're just punching through most of the time. Elspeth, of course, a good threat by herself, but a Johnny kind of acting as another equipment. So we decided to stick with that. No other real close choices. This deck is missing a bit of punch. It needs a couple more 1-drops to be doing what it's doing. Maybe if I had got the Black Splash to get those Lingering Souls, it would be a bit better. But as it stands, I think the other 3-drops are a bit better. So hopefully first round will be starting soon, and hopefully we make it past the first round. This can actually be longer than a 20-minute video. See you in a sec. And here we are for game 1. We have a really reasonable keep here. We got Mom on the play. We got to go on the play, which is really important. We got a Banishing Light and a Relic, Leona and a Relic Warder, which is really important to the matchup, and Mom to protect it. So Library, and I think kind of instantly we're seeing just one of the reasons. I think I'm going to get in because I don't mind if they kill either of these. I think at the moment, one of the reasons I don't like decks like White Weenie, my opponent just did something inherently unfair. That's on the draw. He played a Library of Alexander, and it's very hard to beat. He's got his own personal engine going now. It's a Phyrexian arena without losing life, if you want to call it that, and it's going to be very hard for me to beat. Okay, let's go eat his Golgari Signet, and because we have the Relic Warder out, we are just going to get in for 2 and keep up Mom. There's a chance I want to attack with her next turn, because that way I get to trigger Gideon. But we'll see. Depends what he taps out for here. Oh, I think opponent almost played a card. Yeah, he almost played a card without drawing a card. Almost broke his own chain. For a turn. He gets Chalice. Okay. Yeah, it's likely that we're just jamming with the team here. And an Honor of the Pure to make this even better. We're trying to punish sturdily decks, but my opponent off to not the fastest of start because of the Library, but not a slow start. He's had 2 mana artifacts. We've managed to kill them both so far, but who knows how long that happens. Okay, so we get to untap. And now we have double protection because we get to untap Mom. Sorry, I was just making sure I had the right ability. I haven't used them before. So now Mom is indestructible, and I get to protect a Relic Warder from any removal spell. Next turn I get to jam for 8. If I jam with the Mom, it's for lethal, but we'll decide whether, depending on what he does. If we get Najani in play, it's for lethal. So this is probably one of the faster clocks we can do. And we've got to slow opponent down by eating his mana artifact, which is really important that we got this 2-drop. I guess Talia would have done something similar. But again, we're trying to beat kind of dirtily decks that are skimping on removal for powerful effects. And yeah, opponent just concedes. That is a bit of a surprise. 8 cards in his hand, opponent can't do anything about these creatures in play. Not even present a blocker. Game 1 to White Weenie. And we didn't see enough to change anything. Not see enough to change anything, so let's ship it back. Yeah, I don't think I can keep this. This is extremely slow. This is not much better, but at least with Porcelain Legionary Johnny, we can present a reasonable clock. If we do something like a Mom now, or any one drop. Ooh, okay. Gone from horribly slow to terribly fast in one draw step. Gonna 6 him next turn if we want, but most likely just 4 him. Opponent off to also not a slow start. I don't think we need to 6 him right now. Especially when this is just presenting a lot of damage by itself. What's he have on 4? Opponent could be Storm, could just be one of those good stuff control decks. So you just got all the mana fixing and you're playing all the powerful interactions. Usually they end up being kind of Storm decks as well. 2 mana for that. Anticipate. Okay. So the next turn we get to hit with this Ajani Collar again. Unfortunately, if this just had -2, I guess I could just do that twice. Though this way I'm presenting lethal next turn if he doesn't add something significant to the board anyway. I'm also able to attack through a lot with this Porcelain Legionnaire. This Mox Pearl was incredibly important to what I did. Imagine doing this all a turn later. You know, my opponent still being on probably 16, maybe a bit less. So it all happening a turn later is pretty bad, and it could have happened into removal spells as well, into counter spells. 11's also an unfortunate number. It means that if he counters this Secure the Waste, I can't just kill him with the Ajani and Porcelain Legionnaire. That does very little. And if he doesn't have a 1 mana removal spell, we're probably winning here. Ashiok, an extremely strong card in this this cube. Yep. Opponent just didn't have removal spells. And you know, this is what the white weenie deck, I guess, preys on, and same with the mono red deck. Oh, you know, you're skimping on removal spells for big powerful drops, and Ashiok, who doesn't really affect the board, and all these mana artifacts, and you're just going to die. But even his deck would have died to something like mono green, which would have just presented a 7/7 on turn 3 or something, or a Primeval Titan, or Crowder huffing you for a bazillion. So his deck may be just a bit too slow, and that's a trap people fall into. They take all these good cards, and their deck doesn't do much in the end. You know, no counter spells from my opponent there, no removal spells, just a couple draw spells and mana artifacts. Oh, we make our money back. That's the beauty of Cube. You win the first round, you're not at a loss. Let's see if we can take it a bit further, and I'll see you again in a couple seconds. We're back here with round 2, and we got a sweet one. We got turn 1 Mana Vault into turn 2 Mentor Jide. Turn 3 Equip Path to your guy. That seems strong, right? So we're definitely keeping this one. If we're against another creature deck, like we said, we were kind of fearing the red deck, but one of our ways to definitely beat the red deck is this combination of cards. So let us battle. Let us battle. And we're seeing the power of Mana Vault at play right here. We also have a Mishra's Factory as our 3rd land. So if he does manage to kill everything, we can still start equipping up a Mishra's Factory if we draw another land. Jide is also strong. Weird in this cube because Jide is very obviously strong, but some decks can just ignore it. Like, yeah, it increases your clock. It makes your guy +4/+4 every time, every second hit. But well, every hit past the first one basically. But some decks don't care about that, and you're not interacting with their combo pieces or their storm or so. Anna and Elspeth, must be my birthday. It's the one that does damage, isn't it? Yeah, it does like 1 damage. 1 damage for Brazilian mana. Deal. Oh, you can only untap it in your upkeep. It has lots of downsides, but mainly just upsides. Can't pay for mana leak. Can't pay for force spike this time around, but we have the force spike. Could have mana tide. Oh yeah, opponent let them both resolve. We are in flavor country. It's a big country. I was just ragging on this deck as I was building it, and so far it's been nothing but fun, nothing but phenomenal. Phenomenal. Oh jeez, I can't talk. We'll take one. Draw a land for our Elspeth as well. Don't need to show him we have a man land since we're most certainly just casting an Elspeth next turn. And now we can kill anything he does. He has shown us 4 colors so far and a removal spell. We know nothing else about him. He likes long walks on the beach. Okay, so he looks like he might be more combo-ish. Though he could just be a 5-color good stuff deck. That is just a thing people play. So we are going to get aggressive with this. We're just going to play a land that's also a creature, which lets us get aggressive because if he kills our monk, we still have something to equip the Jide to, and we're just going to prowess, make it a 2/2, give it +4/+4 with Jide, give it flying, and +3/+3. So we're getting in for 9 damage next turn. Or something stupid like that. A stupidly, bafflingly high number for a 1/1 monk with an equipment that's not giving any stat bonuses at the moment. Uh-oh. Maybe we'll have a change of plans. Maybe Relic Hoarder will eat that. We'll see. Oath of Druids. That might also change plans. If he oats up an Emrakul, we're in trouble. Oh wait, this gets enchantments. Never mind, never mind. We're still in great shape. Gets this. Figure of Destiny also shows up to the party. And as I said in the first game, in this cube, this guy mostly eats just mana artifacts, but in general he's just exceedingly strong for these kind of strategies. Not even white weenie, like even if I was playing the white blue tempo deck that I wanted to make. The white blue tempo deck tempo. It sounds like I'm saying tempo, sorry. Deck that I wanted to make, he was gonna be very good in that. Get to deal 5 here. Still have that 9 damage, just locked and load for whenever I wanted it with the Elspeth. At the moment I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That might have been opponent's whole plan. He could also have Reanimate, but he has no black yet. A lot of these decks are also sneak and show decks. Like it's a fatty deck, and you play Oath, and you play sneak attack, and you play show and tell, and you can play Reanimate. You just play all the good stuff instead of just being dedicated to one strategy. You can just level this up, attack with everything. Yeah, I don't need to commit anything else to the board here, I don't think. Now, even if he like wipes my board, I still have the equip on this for the win. And again, this guy, if I do, like, there's obviously big spells that can just win him the game here, and that's the downside of white weenie. I can't do anything about a wildfire here. I just lose. He probably wins. I lose. I have a few counters on a Jide. I guess even wildfire I'm protected from, because I make this +2/+2 bigger. And I attack him with this, yeah, so what? Oh no, I can't attack him with this. Sorry, Wildfire gets me. Because he gets his ult back. I guess if he Wildfired there, I pat my own guy. Just so I cannot sacrifice the Mishra's Factory and have a chance of winning on the spot. Or I can choose to keep pat, and if I draw planes... No, that doesn't make sense, because if I draw planes I won. But then again, we put him under pressure. We killed his one win condition. We had this if his win condition was a fatty instead. That was it. Like, these decks can't be beaten if you're only playing one removal spell. Since he showed me out, I'm gonna... No, I'm main decking it. I'm main decking the War Priest. I couldn't remember if I'd boarded it or not. But no, main deck. Run it back. Power Axe Wave doesn't seem too strong in this matchup, but at the same time, it's a enchantment that can eat anything that can be ulted out. And then even protect my guys against something like Dragon Lord or Tarka, which we saw him discard. So this is an interesting hand, because on the draw, I got both the things that stop his oath. Or I can just Rashadan port him on turn 2, if he doesn't do anything with his turn 1. So I think it's a keep. I would like a threat that I could just turn 1 out. Or like something like a Mirren Crusader. But on turn 1, I'm porting his land. And then like on turn 2, I can consider putting out threats. But turn 3, I just get to pump out an Elspeth straight away. I could have also just played a War Priest of Toon, but I'd prefer to kill the Oath or the sneak attack he might have in his deck with that. Oh no, 1 green. Search for tomorrow. BS, man. I'm going to port him for 1 more turn, then I'm going to Elspeth. Get the green this time. Then we're going to Elspeth, and then we can go back to porting him. I don't think we mentor. We have nothing to activate the mentor with yet. Now this is a pretty slow start, and if there's any start he can punish, it's going to be something like this. He's letting his powerful spells take over the game instead of actually pressuring him to act. So let's see, he got a second black. Can you just reanimate straight away here? Again, if he oats, we just have a War Priest. Get him. It's absolutely fine. And if War Priest doesn't work, we can always play a land and Relic. War Priest will work. Oh, I didn't actually mean to do that. I meant to pump. I just clicked the wrong one. There's no need not to be pumping here. Then I'm going to play this Mishra's Factory. I'm going to play my Mentor. It does play into like rot effects slightly, though I am not that conscious of rot effects. I got to War Priest this instead of Relic Warden it. Mentor just gets killed. And now every turn I can just attack with this Mishra's Factory. Pump one of my tokens. Attack with the team and Rashadan port his white source, or his green source. It's probably better every turn. Considering which one's better. I think it's green because we've also seen like Dragon Lord or Tarka. Stuff like Primeval Titan comes to mind. Just fatties in general, but white represents Erratic God. Though if he rots, we can just rebuild. And he doesn't draw a land, obviously, to develop his board. His hand is similar to last turn. He can't have a removal spell. It's an easy one. Again, we're putting... That was a minimal amount of pressure on a dirty deck. We didn't do anything till turn 3. We just stopped him from casting 3-drops. But he didn't even have 3-drops to do anything with. It's not like he played a rampage of spells once he got under the port lock. And we just won that game. And I think, again, as we said... If you want to be successful at this cube, yeah, it's fun to do fun things, and everyone loves doing wacky things. And I did I did try and make like a tempo deck. I don't like making these straightforward linear decks. Like I end up in mono green a lot because I see it's open. I end up in mono red a lot because I see it's open. Because I hate missing signals. I'm not one for ignoring it. But we're putting him under pressure. We're pressuring his resources slightly with things like port. And we're not giving them time to do their funky combos. Because if you give them time, there's lots of stuff that just can't be stopped in this cube. There's storm shenanigans. There's big spells like Toot and Now. There's just hard casting Emrakul's. So I think strategies like this are definitely valid. We are going to go to the next game. I'll see you soon. And we're here for the final of the draft. Good to be on the play, second time. So lucky. And we got a good one here. We got 1 drop into 2 drop into 1 drop Honor of the Pure. Guess we can't ask for much better. And we're going to start with the Woe Reaper because he is a lot less relevant for us. Randomly really good against Reanimator. And then we have, if we hit the second and third land, the third and fourth land, we do just get to actually deciding whether it's just better to Honor of the Pure here. Third land makes this interesting. I think I just Honor. Get him for 3. He can spend his turn doing that if he feels like it. Still have the upkeep stop. It's a pretty strong card. I love myself some Weathered Wayfinder. I think I was playing the second time he was constructed. I think he was reprinted for a core set. I remember testing him for something. Can't remember if he was actually any good. Caracas. It's my Kittian. That is really frustrating. That is randomly super frustrating. I'm still going to play it. Let's hope he forgot to bounce. Yeah, he forgot to bounce. Okay. We got lucky. He forgot Kittian was a legend. His opponent got Blade Splicer. Okay. Oh, that's a sweet one. Or I just get the... I'm probably just doing this. Yeah, that's it. That seems a bit better. He's probably the Esper mid-range deck that I kind of wanted to be going into the draft. Guess the bigger guy. I could have him on 3 less life if I'd removed his other card. But I got him dead a couple different ways here. Dead on turn 5 again. As much as I bad-mouthed this deck for not doing powerful things, it is running people over. These games are not particularly gross. He's a creature-based deck, so the Fiend Hunter has some... Oh, double-face cards. Some consideration here, but again, I just think he's too... not statted well enough for any of this, and I'd rather just have Jide and some of the other things going on to fight creature mirrors. So I think just ship it back, and it hasn't lost the game yet. So let's keep him rolling. Let us keep them rolling. Opponent probably sideboarding for a kind of weenie deck. Being on the play there was pretty crucial, and we got lucky in the sense we drew 2 lands completely on time. Kittian has looked extraordinary. I don't think he's ever looked as good as he does here. Hand isn't incredible. No real creatures. We have the Anthem, which is really nice, but I think this is a mulligan. This, on the other hand, is a turn 1 Hate Bear into turn 2 Banishing Light or Schadenport, so. And if we draw anything better to play on turn 2, that'd be great. This can bottom. We don't need a 4th land. Even though we have Parallax Wave, we just don't need it. Okay, will opponent F6. We don't need to play the Mana Vault yet. Is he going to counter this? Pretty okay with him countering this. Wonder if he has Daze. Is that what he's thinking about? He must have Force of Will. Force of Will, or he can't have Daze, he wouldn't be thinking about this. But why Force of Will the actual Mox, not just Force of Will the card I play from it? Like, just leave me with mana. If he F6s though, it would be very funny getting this Arbiter into play. If we were on the play, it would just lock him out of a land. But he could have multiple fetches as well. Along with a lot of other things that search in this format. And then next turn I can have either Banishing Light or I can Mana Vault, which lets me hit this Parallax Wave into a Schadenport, which lets me start locking down one of his lands. Okay, opponent finding their spawns. Let's see if he remembers. He didn't remember the Krakus. Oh, he remembered this. Opponent shouldn't have conceded the other time. He still had Krakus to bounce to Gideon, because I believe it's a legendary creature. Fortunately, he just couldn't be on the play for this game. Disenchant for my Mox. I'm in no rush to get this Mana Vault down. He had a Blade Splicer, so I think I'm going to tap. I guess Blade Splicer doesn't matter for this, so tap the blue. I don't know, are creatures more likely to be blue or white? I have a lot of the white 2-drops. I think tap the blue. Next turn I can Mana Vault and do this again. Ha! That's so good. That's so funny. I can make him use his whole turn to search next turn. Leon and Arbiter being an all-star here. Fucking all-star, man. So he's going to have to skip his turn if he wants to search with his Marsh Flats. Well, he could have a 1-drop. Oh, 2-drop. He could have a 2-drop, sorry, because he is actually searching for the land. Yeah, opponent made a mistake there, and it's the same mistake I made. You actually have to click on the Arbiter. The way he's worded, you click on the Arbiter before you search for your thing, because it's not a trigger on every single ability. It's a once-off, you have to pay that turn, so that's not a mistake opponent will make again. We get rather lucky there. I've made the mistake in Constructed on Moto, so... And he doesn't have a third land, jeez. That mistake is costly. No, I would not like to pay. But yes, I would like Cloud Goat Ranger. 3, 4, 5, we can Cloud Goat and we store Schadenport. All good in the hood. Opponent in major trouble. We got 3-turn clock from now. I'd love to own some more Schadenports. These things are like the most expensive card on Magic Online. That's not me being hyperbolic. They're actually the most expensive card on Magic Online. And that's game. Opponent didn't draw his third land again. Made a mistake with the Leon and Arbiter, and would have been an interesting game without it. He still would have been stranded on 2 mana. I would have had to do something about the Arbiter. But there we get a sweet seasonal point. Got the seasons. And we got some more play points. We more than double our money, so to speak. And that's my take on the cube. Hopefully we'll have another one for you next week and another constructed video. But until then, guys, thank you very much for tuning into Mind Sports Academy. I'm sure there'll be lots more as well. And see you next time.